videos. I tagged the shit out of them too. I'll talk to her a little bit later. But yeah, because I was dying laughing regarding AOC versus Tulsi because I actually saw that class coming. It was literally only a matter of time. It was literally only a matter of time before AOC and Tulsi clash, and it seems like a lot of Tulsi people they was waiting for AOC to say anything about Tulsi Gabbard because I looked at a lot of Tulsi people. A lot of Tulsi people hate AOC, and I talked to a lot of them because I'm friends with a lot of Tulsi people on Twitter. They got some legitimate grievances on AOC. Like I have legitimate grievances on all our progressive leaders, right? My thing is when people stand politicians, and I see this weakness all the time. I'll see people from Tulsi camp, and I'll see people from AOC camp. Whenever they criticize Tulsi on AOC on something, it's like I feel like this is me. I feel like they're holding their opposition to a higher standard. They holding their own politicians to. You know what I mean? So, for example, a lot of Tulsi people was talking shit on AOC because she was going on Rachel Maddow. I mean, that was like a big anti-AOC talking point I seen from Tulsi. They was like, oh, she's going after Tulsi because she want to go on Rachel Maddow. So you upset because AOC go on Rachel Maddow, but Tulsi going on Tucker Carlson is okay? So you understand with me, I'm pretty goddamn consistent. I think you should go on any media platform you get an opportunity to spread your progressive ideas. Whether it be Fox News, MSNBC, or whatever. We need to win as many people over as we can. So I want people to go on Fox News. I don't care if they go on MSNBC and make their case to the MSNBC boomer audience. But you see how there's always like that double standard. Now regarding the actual feud itself, let me pull the tweets up so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. If I can find it, I'm gonna find the tweets. But pretty much because the ballot harvesting story came out, and Tulsi, what I believe that she was trying to accomplish, because my guess is Tulsi is trying to get into the right wing media sphere. Tulsi been keeping her future kind of a secret because I remember she came up with a statement because she's not running for re-election for Congress. She said, well, I still have plans on doing something. I'm going to still be active. And I truly, truly hope I'm wrong and think that she may be active on moving to the, not moving to the right, but being part of the right-wing media sphere. And she literally shown evidence of that when she was praising Dan Crenshaw, of all people. Dan Crenshaw is the guy who said we shouldn't do anything on climate change. Dan Crenshaw was literally mocking the idea of investing in solar and wind energy. And in the process of doing that, he was straw manning our positions because he was trying to say the left, by pushing wind and solar, we're being a serious that's never going to work. I mean, he's a typical right-wing piece of shit. And Tulsi was getting close to him. Michael Tracy had been smearing Black Lives Matter activists for the last few months now. I don't know when it started because I don't follow his timeline. But he's been smearing right-wing activists. He's been smearing protesters. And then Tulsi get close to him. And one thing that kind of got me worried about Tulsi, because Marianne Williamson, she went on Dave Rubin's show and she dunked on him throughout the course of the interview. Dave Rubin tried to push her on open borders, which is a straight straw man argument. She was trying to get Marianne Williamson to attack the left. And Marianne Williamson was brilliant because Marianne Williamson did not take the bait. She crushed Dave Rubin on his show, and she put it back against all his right-wing talking points. And one thing that kind of drove me crazy about Tulsi is Tulsi went on Dave Rubin's show, and she was agreeing with Rubin on some of his right-wing talking points, especially regarding open borders and attacking the Green New Deal and a lot of these other progressive ideas. So I'm like, that was very, very off-putting. But anyway, back to this, because my thing is, I made a tweet about this. My state right now is I'm upset at all our progressive leaders. All our progressive leaders piss me off. Because we elected you guys with the mandate that you guys wasn't going to be just standard Democrats. That you guys are willing to speak up when the Democrat Party does something wrong. I mean, I understand when you may have to play politics. I may understand that a little bit more, or maybe a little bit more nicer than other leftists when it comes to the fact that I understand that LC and them need to play the game. Right? I'm very, very lenient on that. But when you refuse to say anything about Julian Assange, when you go along with Democrats and the regime change in Venezuela and Bolivia, when you pretty much have your entire first term of your career where you avoid talking about foreign policy at all, when I'm a staunch anti-imperialist, it's like, bro, people who are just blindly standing AOC, you guys are missing the point. We are supposed to be we're supposed to be a policy-based movement, and I am always policy-based because I still have a lot of people on my timeline who don't wonder why I don't like Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard was the second furthest left person in this race in the Democratic primary. Easily, if you look at policy, she was one of the furthest left on criminal justice. She was very anti-war. She literally had she introduced legislation that's supposed to protect Assange and protect whistleblowers. Her off act is literally a climate plan that AOC ran on as well. So she had a very strong climate plan. I strongly disagree with her from breaking away from Medicare for all, but she wanted to implement an Australian-style system. Now, once again, I have a lot of problems with how Tulsi carries herself. I find her to be a very boring speaker. I hate how she constantly talk about unity this, unity that, unity this. Fuck unity, Tulsi. What are you doing? I don't care about unity. I care about solidarity. If you're someone and you don't support my family getting health care, if you don't support my family's right to health care, if you don't support our community's right to have a living wage, I don't want to unify with you. I want to defeat you. And this is what Tulsi does all the time. This is how she able to establish her right-wing base. She's like, I'm not against you guys. Let's unify, come together. I don't want to come together with alt-right white supremacists. I don't want to come together with the people who support Joe Jorgensen for economic policies. These people are the people we're trying to defeat. We're not trying to unify with them. And that's one of the things that Tulsi, like that's one of her things that she brings up that she talk about, like, that I dislike. But once again, my thing is not like that's all rhetoric. That's all political strategy. I don't care that much about that. The same way I don't care about AOC calling Nancy Pelosi Mama Bear. I will rip on AOC for saying that, but I see people that will cancel AOC all the time because she said that. I'm like, I don't care if she say that. I care more that she take Nancy Pelosi's stance on Venezuela. I get upset when she vote for the giant corporate bailouts. I don't care if she's called Nancy Pelosi a mama bear and then once again, this part of the hypocrisy I was talking about before, because you had toasted people who get upset at LC for calling Nancy Pelosi mama bear, but they don't get upset when Tulsi Gabbard praises Dan Crenshaw for his eye patch. They don't get upset when she go on Dave Rubin and praises Dave Rubin. They don't get upset when they push Project Veritas. You see, I'll get upset at all the same things. I am consistent, or at least I'll try to be consistent to the best of my ability. But with the whole Tulsi or the AOC thing, I'll see people who support AOC. I see people that support Tulsi where they are straight up contradicting each other all the time. And then I literally I have arguments with people that I respect on Twitter who they will say Tulsi Gabbard is right wing. And I'm like, on what basis is Tulsi Gabbard right wing? On what basis? Yes, she buddies up with some right wing people, and she may buddy with fascists more than I am comfortable with. But if you look at her policies, she has an off act that is as aggressive as the Green New Deal. It had a few things. The reason why I support the Green New Deal more than the off act, because the Green New Deal is more structural change. The Green New Deal, like Tulsi, she doesn't agree with a federal jobs guarantee. She thinks that should be separate. She don't believe in a lot of these. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the exact initiatives. But I remember I talked to Tulsi when she was in South Carolina. She kind of explained it how she just want to focus on ending fossil fuels and anything else come later. I disagree with that because I think we need to have a whole societal change in order to successfully implement a humane way of living and a way to promote prosperity. Because Green New Deal will promote prosperity by having a federal jobs guarantee. We can put people to work, revamp our infrastructure, and this will revitalize disenfranchised communities. Because if you had a federal jobs guarantee where people work in wind and work in solar, that allows opportunity for people who usually wouldn't have opportunity. It's a inherently progressive idea because the people who benefit from these new jobs and these new infrastructures will be the community where the infrastructure has failed and where jobs are gone. This is why I support the Green New Deal over the Off Act. But the Off Act is a left-wing policy that no one on the right will ever support. Let's make that clear. No one on the right will support the Off Act. No one on the right will support Tulsi Gabbard's single-payer health care plan. I like Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan more. And I am upset with Tulsi for going her own direction instead of standing in solidarity with us on this. But her plan is literally a single payer that allows people to keep the private insurance or whatever. It's literally based on the Australian model. And if you look at Australia, because I did my research in this, Australia ranked pretty damn high on healthcare. So I don't think it was the healthcare plan she should have had, but she still had a progressive healthcare plan. She is still calling to end all our wars. So in what universe is Tulsi right wing? Is she right wing in her rhetoric? You can make the argument, maybe. But to call Tulsi a right winger, despite the fact that she support progressive criminal justice, support a living wage, support all these policy ideas, but you want to say that she's not progressive. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, anti-Tulsi people. Doesn't make sense. And this is coming from a guy who 100% criticized Tulsi on the ties to Moody, whatever legitimate grievances that you guys have with Tulsi. I would agree with that. But if you look at Tulsi's relationship with Moody, how does that translate into policy? Because a lot of the people in the Democratic Party, they are friendly and they are cooperative with Moody. A lot of people in our government are friendly and cooperative with dictators. So why is Tulsi the only one who is attacked on that? Why is Tulsi attacked on that, but AOC is not attacked for supporting Juan Guaido in Venezuela? Why is Tulsi attacked for that, but AOC is given a pass for not saying anything about Julian Assange? See, I'll attack AOC on her stance on Julian Assange, like I attack Bernie Sanders not saying anything on Julian Assange, just like I attack Tulsi Gabbard when she does stupid shit like promoting Project Veritas. You know what I mean? Consistency. And this is what's been driving me crazy about the whole AOC versus Tulsi debate, and I've been watching it unfold on Twitter. Is our group, we were supposed to be anti-standing. We're supposed to be anti putting politicians above criticism. Right? But yeah, I'm seeing that consistently when it comes to the AOC versus Tulsi debate. Whenever I criticize AOC, people get mad at me. And I'm like, are you mad at my criticism or are you mad at I'm going out of AOC? And never about the basis of the criticism. I criticize AOC. Now, this is back to my original point. And excuse me. This is back to my original point. And the reason why I am not high on any of these progressive leaders. I'm not high on any of these progressive leaders because they should all be organizing. They all should be forming a coalition to call for a general strike right now. Right now. When is a better time to call for a general strike than right now? There was a report that came out a few weeks ago that the media did not touch, obviously, where it showed 53 million Americans said they are set to go hungry for the rest of this year. 50 million Americans said they don't have enough to eat. You have 30 million Americans that may go homeless in a homeless crisis. You have our government abandoning us and not giving us more relief checks for COVID. And you guys don't think this is the time to break from your party. Not only do you guys think it's not a time to break from your party, you guys are voting for corporate bailouts. You guys voted for the largest transfer of wealth in human history. That's what you guys are doing instead of calling and organizing a general strike. We tried. Activists have tried. I talked to many activists. We tried. You need that strong leader, someone with great union ties like Bernie does, who can able to get a strike like this implemented. But there was nowhere to be found. And that's around time like, all right, we don't stand nobody. We put no one above criticism. We are here to put all these people on pressure. We're here to put pressure on all these people. And I think I made it up, but during the whole course of this AOC versus Tulsi thing, I was going after both of them, and Tulsi and AOC fans did not take that well. So overall, that's kind of my thoughts. I mean, to the actual content that was being discussed during their little beef. I mean, you guys mostly seen it. The actual beef itself was kind of dispelled really quickly. Because I think Tulsi handled her response pretty well. Let me pull it up on screen and we can call it. We about an hour and in. So I'm gonna just show you guys, just so you guys have the context of what I'm talking about here. So you see, I was having fun with it. These are my tweets here. Because the LC versus Tulsi feud was gonna happen here soon. And this was AOC's initial response here. Tulsi Gabbard, you along with everyone else who amplified this fraudulent story owe a public apology. And I remember when I was live tweeting this, I'm like, soon as she said it, I thought that Tulsi Gabbard was gonna go ballistic. Like the same way she went ballistic on Hillary Clinton, I thought that she was gonna go AOC. But honestly, I think Tulsi handled it really well, all things considered. Because what she did, I mean, a lot of people don't like her answer, but I think considering the position that she was in, she already fucked up by propping up this story, the Project Veritas story. But this was the best way for her to get out of it because she focuses it based on policy to disarm AOC and Ilhan. She apologizes, so she gave AOC what she wants. So I think this is because, as you said, when I was live tweeting, I was thinking like, man, Tulsi about to get a lot of political damage for this. But I think she got out of it pretty well with this statement because it diffused the situation. But with that said, I don't know what Tulsi's future is. I honestly don't. Because she's not running for Congress again. And like I said, it seems like she I don't know what she had planned. And now she's so despised by the left. Like Tulsi had support from the left because she was despised by the Democratic establishment. She was despised by the Democratic Party, but the left and our working class movement still supported her. But because of the action she did for the last few weeks, she lost a lot of people on the left. She lost a lot of working class people. And the Democratic establishment will never love her. The only time the Republican establishment will love her is if she goes farther to the right than she is right now. So I don't understand what her game plan is. So I'm gonna end it with that on terms of the Tulsi versus AOC thing. I don't understand what Tulsi's long-term plan is on this. Not at all. So anyway, we about to